There's a very big and important IPO on the radar, that is Mankind Pharma. It is witnessing a lot of interest from the institutional community as well. You must have seen the list of investors in the anchor. And the HNI and retail too is analyzing this one. We have Sudip Bandyopadhyay, who in fact interacts with a lot of HNI family office kind of investors as well, and today is joining us to help us understand, is Mankind Pharma a good bet for the long term? Sudip, thanks so much for your time. How are you analyzing the valuations? Let's start with the valuations versus the India-centric domestic pharma stocks listed here already and their valuations right now, looking at the growth and the unique business model. Sudip?
Afternoon, Ajay. I think the way I look at it, it's an excellent offering, and the valuation should not worry the investors who are subscribing now. Couple of reasons. Primarily being the company has a strong growth pipeline. They have a strong product portfolio and fantastic distribution. They have done very well to focus their resources, manpower, and energy behind domestic market, and that has proved excellent decision in hindsight, I would say. While the companies with a global presence are struggling, Mankind and other companies focused in India have really flourished. That's point number one. Point number two, if you compare the valuations, vis-a-vis other companies of importance and other companies of some size, I think it's not too overly priced, considering the potential, considering the portfolio, and considering the scope for expansion.
Sudeep, what would your advice be to the investors who are analyzing and listening to our conversation today? If one were to subscribe, or should it avoid, or if we do, what kind of compounding can this company offer over the long term 3 to 5 year period?
Well, the company has been extremely smart in their product selection and strategies, for a very, very long time. Though it was not in the listed space, private equity investors had identified this company, invested in, and reaped handsome rewards. So the way I look at it, I think it's good to bet on a very, very stable, steady, and smart management focused on the segment which has got a significant tailwind, that is domestic pharma. They are also, increasing their presence in the chronic part of the pharma, domestic pharma, which is more margin accretive. They also have other segments, but the chronic is the focus area. Of course, they have consumer healthcare brands which are also pretty well known. So the way I look at it, it should attract a better valuation going forward when the market really starts appreciating the business and starts talking about the business. Remember, this was not being talked about in the listed space because this was not a listed company. Now, once it comes, it will be talked about, it will be compared, and I'm reasonably confident that investors will reap good dividend, good rewards from the company. Also, if you're talking about specifically, investors coming in at 1080 levels, what's the upside? I would say look at remaining invested in the counter for a year. I think you will get excellent returns. We are looking at a 1300 plus levels in the company, and I think as far as investors who are looking at a quick exit, I have nothing to say. But for a long-term investor, definitely a good buy.
Okay, one last word. Though the management was, in the period, they cannot talk about forward-looking, but they have clearly indicated in our interactions the way they are changing their business mix and also the clear focus on R&D. How have you analyzed, the focus on R&D by large pharma companies such as Mankind?
I think this is one area which a pharma company definitely needs to focus if it has to have a long-term sustainable growth, and that's pretty much what Mankind is doing. I like the way, as I was saying, the way they have developed the business. They have been extremely smart about scaling up. They have been extremely smart about the markets they have selected, and also the products and the way they have distributed. Now the question is, at some stage they need to focus on R&D. They have also done good work in the before listing, and I'm pretty confident with renewed focus on R&D, they will continue to compete and they will continue to beat competition. Look at the work they had done earlier. The Prega News on the consumer healthcare side was an innovation, was a very useful tool, which really took the market by surprise, and they really gained significant market share there. The other chronic and therapeutic products also did pretty well, and I'm pretty confident that the renewed focus on R&D will reach good dividend for them.
Very much for joining us today with your view on the valuations and the attractiveness of this IPO.